Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished guests, welcome to the World Speakers Series 2025. It's absolutely electrifying to see this room filled up with sharp minds, bold thinkers, and fearless innovators. People who can close multi-million-dollar deals, people who can untangle the most complex strategies. This is also one of the best crowds, comparable to TED Talks. Tonight's event is brought to life by our stellar organizations, the Boston International Business School, the American Academy of Real Estate, and Virgin Hotel New York City. Let's give them a round of applause for making this event possible. Our first opening organizer remark is by a man of legend. He's the person that created the Manhattan skyline. He has business empire that's bigger than many small countries. His GDP contribution to New York City is bigger than many of the small countries combined. He's a legend, John Lam, the CEO of Lam Group USA and the visionary behind this very hotel. Please let's welcome Mr. John Lam.
Good evening. My name is John Lam. I also American Hotel Association. I'm the chairman and founder. This is one of the biggest hotel associations for Asia. We have over $4 billion asset for our member, and an immigrant from Hong Kong, 1969. I was 17 years old. When I first come in, I don't know nothing. I didn't have time to go to school, and I have to go to work to support the family. So I worked in the restaurant as a washing dishes. After 2 years, I went to open my factory making clothing in fashion. At that time, we only have like 30 people working a week. But we work hard and we keep our promise. And our company grow in 5 years. We become one of the biggest companies in Taiwan. We employ close to 500 people. After 10 years, we become one of the biggest fashion companies in New York. We do over $100 million in business. In 1980, I started looking for investment in real estate. At that time, real estate very cheap. I bought a building, 50,000 square feet, only spent under $1 million. And today, that building worth about $65 million. But at that time, with our company making money every year, we bought 1 or 2 buildings. At that time, in 8 years, we bought over 10 buildings. And I figured the real estate came out too fast. The building I bought for $1 million, and I sold it for $6 million. How many times? The $1 million you only have $400,000, and you sell for $6 million. You make over $5 million for $400,000 investment. And in 90, real estate very bad, fell almost by 67%. But because the real estate went up too high, in 1988, I decided I sell 50% of my portfolio and put all the money into fashion. That's why I become one of the biggest fashion guys in New York City. And I become a president of the Government Association, William Brothers Underwear Association. We have over 35,000 members. And a lot of high-end, Jewish, and Chinese. So I become a president. That association, for over 65 years, I'm the first Asian to become a president. when I controlled that association, at that time, you know, all the mafia very strong. The mafia controlled the association and controlled the union. They called me up there to see them. He said, "Are you able to sit at the chair?" I said, "If your guy want me to sit, I will sit there, and I need your support. If you don't want me to sit there, I give you my power, self, and I announce it. And any problem with this industry, we call you. No, they cannot bend on them." I said, what do we do? So they figure out that I get elected. So all the members elect me as a president. You don't support me, I cannot be seated there. I need your support. And he said, what you're able to do, if you, I let you sit there. I said, I need power. And I don't need the money. You don't give me that no salary. You take care of money. I take care of the power. I control the industry. It's a good deal. You got it. I support you. So at that time, I did one thing there. I changed around the fashion industry to the union. And I told the union, now I'm the same level you. You got your support, I got my support. Now we talk business. So at that time, we made the car industry completely change. Completely change. That's why you see today a lot of major brands owned by Chinese. Before you have very difficult to get into environment. So I see the industry sinking, and I don't want to support in the overseas. That time I said I have to change my business, and I decided to buy more in real estate. In New York, I went to 5 times. I reached up and down. Every time we sit down, I go all in. When I go out, I double my portfolio. I start my business with $5,000. And this hotel I built, I spent $3 billion. And I built in New York City over 30-some hotels. And I built about 50 buildings in Manhattan. From nothing. When I go for construction, I got big approval. At New York City, at that time, you cannot build any building without the union. So I called union. I have some worker, immigrant workers. I need to take care of it. I gave 50% the contract for the union. And the 50% of the contract, I want to take care of my people, immigrants, to do some of the work. So we made a deal. But that deal didn't go through. I do half the building, all ununion workers, finish the work, got damaged. And I have to be settled for all the workers, join the union, and 100% of the union to finish. After I finished the building, I spent over $4 million more because to bring the contract. So when worker come back to see me, he said, "You people in a difficult situation." I said, "Right now you go to union. Why in a difficult situation?" He said, "I have no seniority. So when after you finish your building, I have no job. When they vacation, they call me. When they come back to work, I sit home to wait for the call. They only got 10%, 20% of the work." I said, "Okay, I go take care of it." I sit down with the union. They said, "We go by the rule. Seniority. I cannot be done." I said, "Okay, I'm going to the next building I build. I'm going to do for that union." So when I built the first the building on Times Square, 500 rooms, 40 story high. The year probably 2,000 people on Soya meat and burn my shop. The police called me. John, don't come here. You're very dangerous. Over here, all mess. I said, okay, don't worry. And after that, I called the mafia. I called it brothers. They called me brothers. Very good friend. I talked to them 40 minutes. After I talked to them, I called FBI. My life got better, got power. They threatened me. I said, come to see them. Come on, John, what are you trying to do to me? I said, you don't take care of your boy, I can take care of you. I'm going to put you in jail. He said, I cannot finish the building, you're going to be in jail. So he said, what do you want me to do? I said, why don't you take care of your boy, and we'll be peaceful to continue to what the night before. He said, you're crazy. I said, yeah, you make me crazy. After that, he called them and don't get close to my base. But also, I still have problem. They don't deliver good for me. It's only unit shop. They don't do the concrete. And the tiny pure concrete only for 10 stories, 15 stories. Can you go to 40 stories? Then I have to be, I bought the unit supply company. I said, I'm going to deliver my good for myself. So, and then I'm going to deliver the good to the space. And also I bought the company for the concrete. And I called the guy, he had no license. I called the guy, you're the owner right now. I give you the pump, and I got to sign a 5-year contract. You only work for me, and you make triple your money. He said, okay. They do that. And they come to do for me. He said, you're my number, you cannot do work for him. He said, no, I'm the owner right now. So at that time, we break through the city, build the building for the union. And the union said, call me, you can't work, I will get you in trouble. I told them, next time I make a deal with you, I lost $4 million. You want to talk to me about business? Yes, I will talk to you. Pay me $4 million first. We even up first before we talk. Oh, I give you more money at the end. So we deducted. I said no. That way, as soon as I started, I will go, I never go receive. So end up, I finished the building. At that time, all the union started in the industry. When now, 40% new building, built on the union. And also get a lot of immigrants, people have chance to go into construction site. So all I want is equal opportunity to work. Something wrong, stand up, fight for it. You don't get afraid, but also you're not greedy. If I'm greedy, I take the money. I'm not going to stand there for a year. Then I'm missing the city and put in the country. If I don't take the money, I said, I need your power. And they keep the promise. And they very respect me, and I very respect them. And that's why we make the whole New York City completely change. And today, a lot of people ask me, what we should do now? The market real estate is very bad. The whole world. China is bad, Hong Kong is bad, Europe is bad. The bank system have problems. And I know the bank system have problems because when I buy the real estate, I talk to the American bank, the big bank. I said, I bought a building for $1 million. I need $600,000 loan. He said, I cannot give to you. I said, why not? I got a couple $1 million sitting in your bank. He said, my power, the branch, only a 200,000 limit. Anything I submit to uptown, they never will get me. At that time I said, I have to start my own bank. I called a couple of friends together, and I said, I want to start a bank. Everyone said, I'm crazy. I said, I want to help the immigrant have chance to get the money. So we called a lawyer, I submit the application. And 1980. 1985, our bank opened, called HN. So we do community, get loan for community. The banking business is not good business. Don't do the bank. The banking law very strict. If your work you're doing wrong, a lot of chance only have to be in jail. Because the work is very easy. Oh, the boy told me. And when he said, oh, your boy told you, okay, you point out the boy told you that the boys have money. So they get the boys and they get the penalty, and also say, why did you put in jail? I see it too, a lot small bank, the owner, 60% of the owner went to jail. I said, oh, this business, I have to be very careful. That's why I sell the majority of my share. And because the shareholder said, you cannot leave our bank. I want you to continue to be a loan officer, working there, move all the loan. So for 40 years, I don't have one bank loan. I know what I lend to. I say, any bank loan, I say, oh. That's the solution. So today, real estate is very difficult. Because in New York, the law, you don't pay rent, it takes a long time to go to court. And you never get a win. You get them out. That's why I built, before I built a condo, I built shopping mall, I built office. And after that, I learned it, and I built own hotel. The hotel is better situation because they was the mayor project. The union tried to lock me out, not let me build hotel. And they work with the mayor. I give you $7 million. How? They take the credit card machine, went to any hotel, the members hotel, and then every worker donate $200. When you donate $200, you have a mark. You look for a job, you got a job. You don't have a mark, you look for a job, you never get a job. So everyone donate $200. The 35,000 workers donate $200. They get $7 million. Magic time, Brazil have $56 million from the union, from one hotel union. It's about 70%, over 70-80% the donation from that one union. That's why they put a law for labor peace. What do you mean labor peace? That means when you bought the building, you can get a permit. So very nice language, labor peace. But labor peace, you have to deal with that union for it, and then you said you have to do conduction for union, you have to do this for union, you have to do this for union. So, and they give you trouble. That's why I said, okay, I'm not going to do no more. That's why New York City, for the past 2 years, you only have one permit, 2 hours. No one build hotel no more. So why the hotel getting so strong? There's no new supply coming in. And also, Airbnb, not legal in New York. 35,000 rooms, take over from Airbnb. Besides that, when pandemic, over 100 hotels sell to the government, or homeless shelter, or immigrant. So you have 100 hotels less. Today, the labor cost is so high, material cost so high, and also so difficult, you can get the spell permit, and then no permit until 1 year. So I try to bring Kingston come in. He said, this is not so permit for. You can work with this permit. And they hate me, and I said, I'm not going to put my neck to work with. That's why I said, okay, I'm leaving the video. I build something else. I do something else. I build a apartment again. I'm not going to be build a hotel anymore. And it's also difficult because most of the bank also in trouble. Why? Because a lot of residential, they get fixed loan, 15 years, 20 years, or 3% interest. So the interest from nothing now to you deposit, you get 4%, 5%. So that means every loan, the bank lost 1 or 2% on the loan. It's still 10 years loss. So that give about 50% of the bank cannot do loan anymore. So they are less bank to deal with. So when you have less bank to deal with, and the bank put up the standard. Usually they give a loan for 65%, 75%. Now they give loan for 50% and quality loan. That's why they make it very difficult to get into business for real estate. Only to the hotel. Hotel, this year, you'll see the loan rate go up 20 to 30% compared to pandemic before 19. And besides that, because the labor rent is so high, and they also put on destination fee. Not only the hotel room, they charge you extra $40, $30 for which special destination fee and resort fee of lower number before. So you get you one, free internet, free coffee. The automatic cabinet, it's not usually the name to bring into it. So that brings in extra $1 million or $2 million for the hotel pocket to be worked on with the labor. So that's why today people come in and say, what we say I get into it. But those people don't want to get into a hotel. I want apartment. I said, today apartment is not like before. You don't know what the new mayor are looking for. What you do, hotel, you got free hand. If our cost higher, like the interest, you should pay 3% for get loan. And the pandemic, after pandemic, the bank went up to 7%, 9% interest. The interest went up 100 to 200% more than what I usually pay for. I still can afford it because I put a decimal fee for it. So I can make the money to cover what the shortage, what the extra cost for. And that's why the inflation is getting very bad. So hopefully the interest goes down again and everyone have a bill to breathe. Otherwise, all the apartment, when they loan to, they cannot buy a loan because when you have the income, $1 million. Before you borrowed 50 million. And now your income same thing, but the expenses, the interest double. But then you cannot get 3% loan anymore. You may get 5%, 6%, or 7%. So when you pay double, that means you have to pay down the bank 40 to 50% on the old loan. You don't have the money, you're probably in trouble. And that's why a lot of residential go into trouble. Office in trouble long time ago. It's getting more worse. They work at home. New York, 40% or more of the building empty. And even if you look at the income, you look at the income at a 7% return. Over rented car, the time don't come. The 7% return. But when you after you take over and you see when you want to visit out the office building, they will ask you, I want a free rent, 1 year free rent. I want a build out, $100 per square foot build out. By the time you come in, you sign a 5-year lease. You pay out 2 or 2.5 years for between commission and the build out and the free rent. So that means you only got 50% of the income coming in. So your 7% come back for maybe 3 to 4% return, even your 7% return. So that's why it's like that kind of business you cannot get into unless you convert to different things. So that's why the real estate is still good for future, because when I figure out the best business is the real estate, even the two government very, very good, and I make a lot of money in the government industry. But afterward, 10 years later, I make the building make more money than I work for every day for the government industry for the total amount. Then you buy a building for $1 million, you get into $6 million. So when you run a factory, you can make $6 million. So that's why real estate is still the best. Depends how you put it in, how you get into it. The low market low, you buy. The market high, you sell. Don't keep it. You can keep cash flow on hand. When pandemic, all the hotels have trouble. There's no customer. The real estate, the city usually go by your business. They charge you for tax. When pandemic, I told the work with the city, I said, I'm dropped 60% of my sales, 70% of my sales. Am I paying you 30% of tax? They said, no, we don't go by sales anymore. We go by the value. Like this building, I have to pay $7 million tax. We just pay tax. And also hotel tax. You only pay $15 million just tax. But you make a good low sales, you raise your number, put it away in, you still making money. But in apartment, you cannot do that. You're very controlled. You cannot raise. If you have no money, you have to figure out your problem. That's why New York City is a very problem on those things. I understand the standard is too high, a lot of people can afford it. And that's why I told the city, I said, don't waste your money. I worked it out with you. I built a compound for low income or for homeless. You pay for hotel room for $200 a night for those immigrants. I said, I could build the apartment with a kitchen. You pay less than $100. And you can sell to them. If you sit around the land, I build it, I give you cost, and you sell it for them, and let them own the unit. Instead of you subsidize it. The city never figured that way. They said no. They don't want to do it. And I think they should change, like overseas. Overseas, I see a lot low income. They own the building. When the real estate out, and they have asset. They get the low income, and I work with some of the people 40 years ago. They said, oh, I got a apartment, I pay $200 rent. And I remember when I bought the first building on Queens, 2 families, I paid $40,000. When I moved out to New Jersey, I sold that building for $1 million. And today, worth about $1.5 million. And the people, they could afford to buy the house. They said, because I have low income building, I don't want to keep money, I want to do that. And they still with low income. If at that time, the city get them a low interest rate, and they own the building, and they could enjoy it, and they've still got some asset for themselves. So let people fight for it. And they never go damage the building. When you spend out, you see low income building. You see it, you cannot, you're afraid to stay there. But they're all damaged. Not belong to them. They damage, and they fix it. And the city have no money to fix it, and they never live in a very difficult situation. But if you sell to them, and they own it, and they're not doing damage. If someone they damage it, and someone see it, you lock them out. So that way you have to figure out how to make those poor people become some money, become some long-term, not every year, they say, hey, I want to pay for my rent, I want to pay for my rent. And I see a lot of people, they got opportunity to make more money. They say, oh, I cannot make, I only to make work for 3 days. They make for 5 days, and you trouble. I have to pick up on my rent. So I go 2 days. And 2 days, I go to pay for my staff. I do make money in the staff. So that concept, I think, have to change to be how to help the people, how to make them to be stabilized. And look, I come from no money. I fight for it, and I build for it, and I own for it, and use it out, and I make a lot of money. And I make money that you investment. And that's how the immigrant have a dream. So I will say, and hopefully, that could help my experience. Is that when market low, you buy. When market high, you sell. Don't fix it. And don't give up the chance. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much to the legendary John Lam. Let's give him another round of applause. If you want to be successful, learn from Mr. Lam. If you want to be tall, stand on the shoulders of giants. Then you can be as tall as a skyscraper. Become very successful. Let's give him another round of applause. And we have a certificate of appreciation and a letter of appointment to present to CEO John Lam.
Also, a letter of appointment to be the honorary professor at Boston International Business School for Mr. John Lam. Thank you.
Hi. Do you like Pokemon? Do you like to collect Pokemon cards? Next, I will introduce a speaker who is graduated from all the top universities in the world. Harvard, Yale, Tsinghua. She collects diplomas and degrees faster and easier than I collect Pokemon cards. I want to introduce to you the academic powerhouse, the lady who founded Boston International Business School, the fabulous Leah Rong, Professor Leah Rong.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. And I will invite Kevin, who is Deputy Dean of Boston International Business School, to join me to have opened this ceremony officially. Because Chairman John Lam have another important meeting to go, so we let him to start first. So now we have the opening ceremony. 2018, Northeastern University and put our campus in Weston for sale. So that time we organized a fund, education investment fund. Okay, to purchase this academy campus. You can see, I will also invite one of our investors to the education fund come to the stage. Dr. Zhang, Chairman Zhang, please. I want to say, in 2018, without the investors like Chairman Zhang, he is a famous doctor, most famous doctor in New York and in the world, traditional Chinese medicine. I want to share this story because that time when this campus here for sale, we tried to organize this investment fund. Chairman Dr. Zhang visited Boston many times to help to put this fund together. We were very lucky. We get a few professors from Harvard and to join us. One professor is Jack Szostak, who won the Nobel Prize in 2019 for his discovery for the reason for aging. He's the leader for the longevity research. And so we are good friends. So I will want to pass this microphone to Dr. Zhang just to say a few words about his experience as an investor to this education initiative.
这个主席在这里，我这是一个医生，我们有缘分的在一起合作了很多年。关于主要是起于一个信任。我们这个荣主席呢，他非常是有才华的一个教授。 他在北京大学创立了一个中国首例的一个法律学院，也给哈佛大学的校长做过一个自传的做全中文的翻译。所以从他的能力、能品和他的所有的规划赢得我们的信赖。我们合作很多年了，将来还有一些其他的合作，希望给我们在美国的所有的美国人、华人，给我们后代、给我们国内的人搭上一个很好的桥梁。 不管是从那个商业中医学，还是其他的健康长寿，都给大家带一个好的前途。好，谢谢大家。
Thank you very much, Dr. Zhang. And Dr. Zhang and Chairman Zhang is a representative of investors. And because we have this campus in 2018, we had a very good opportunity to work with Peter Newman, who is a founder for China European Business School. So he founded the China European Business School in Shanghai and also business school in Europe, Latin America, also Africa. So when we had the opportunity to talk to him, he said, maybe it's time for us to start our program for global initiative. For the global CU program, today is one of the classroom. Sorry. Okay. So I just a brief introduction. We will talk more later, but I also want to call Kevin Chen to share his words and his lecture to us tonight.
Okay, yeah, thanks Gloria. Thanks everyone for coming. My name is Kevin Chen. I'm based in New York City. I'm honored to join the business school, so I guess lead some of the academic activities. Tonight really we want to first celebrate for the opening of the CEO program and the speaker series of a BIBS in New York City. Several years ago, we actually started planting trees in Boston at the former Northeast University President's House campus. Now it's the BIBS campus. So we are very happy and honored to open the session in New York City as well. And my remark will be brief because I know we have a very long schedule tonight. I'd like to talk about the macro trend in the US. Number one, I think I would say the peak uncertainty in the US has passed. I would say the global macro economy, the peak uncertainty was probably 6 months ago when the tariff was announced. the tariff was as high as 150% to China and many other countries. But if you look at the recent situation, the tariff to China declined from 150 to 80 to 60 to 40. Right now it's about 20 to 30%. So it's much more manageable. Oh yes, perfect. And then, so the White House agenda, I would say, has pretty much rolled out all the major change. And then I will talk about asset allocation and opportunities going forward. The U.S. economy right now, I would say, it's surprisingly strong. You can see that based on the New York and Atlanta Federal Reserve real GDP data for the third quarter was up 3.8%, and if you add inflation roughly 3%, you end up with almost 7% nominal GDP growth, which is very, very strong, I would say. Surprisingly strong. It's mainly driven because of AI investment. This year, 500 billion in AI investment, energy need, water need, and all the chip manufacturing. And next year, expected 600 billion investment in AI, and the year after, 700 billion. So the U.S. economy right now is very strong, driven by AI. And then if you look at the economic policy in the U.S. right now, first is tariff. The external tariff has increased, but I would say stabilized. There's, I would say, much less policy uncertainty going forward. I met, for example, the traders, the merchants who buy from other countries. They told me that they've diversified their import. They are still buying from China, but also they are buying from Vietnam, from many other countries, much more diversified, and tariff rate has came down pretty substantially. Now it's very manageable for them. And internal is tax cut. The cut for individuals, corporations, roughly 4 trillion is in progress. And immigration, much less now. And then deregulation is ongoing. If you look at from digital currency to pharmaceutical to antitrust regulation, I would say the 4 major policies, macro policies by the White House has pretty much been rolled out. So no more policy uncertainty. I think it's a very good thing going forward. Inflation has come down substantially if you compare to 3-4 years ago. Now the inflation this year is expected to be 2.3% versus 2-3 years ago. So inflation is much, much lower. Right now the US inflation is mainly in service sector, like for example insurance, medical premium, etc. If you look at energy price, food price, inflation is actually going negative. And then market matrix, if you look at stock market and bond market, I would say it's very much a steepening curve. So it shows that inflation expectation is high, but the probability of a recession is falling. So much lower probability of a recession in the next year or so. If you recall, 6 months ago, the recession probability was very high. People were expecting some recession, but no more. Dollar itself, US dollar, in fact, this year depreciated 10%, but has stabilized. So dollar depreciation was worrisome earlier this year, depreciated a lot, but now it has pretty much stabilized at the new level. I would say it's another good sign that currency market is much more stable now too. Stock market, you have to say that right now S&P 500, all the performance are concentrated in the AI, artificial intelligence stocks, all the 7 artificial intelligence AI stocks. Apart from AI stocks, most of the other stock market performance have been pretty flat. So not much gain, not much loss. all the gains are driven by stocks like Google and Tesla, etc. And short-term earnings expectations have been revised down. Long-term remains strong. And also, I would say the stock market have been very volatile, but less so now versus Q2. Q2 we had a major swing, but right now you see the market is much more stable as well. And then there's a great rotation of the stock market to credit market too. So it's very, very difficult for private equity to raise money, but much easier for private credit to raise money. I think Mr. John Lin mentioned about when he is building hotels, he borrowed all those credit, but I would say that the equity is very difficult to raise. There's a big major rotation in the US of $1 trillion moving from equity to credit. People are much more risk averse right now versus a couple of years ago. And then going forward, outlook for remaining of this year and 2026, 3 parts. Traditional finance, I would say traditional finance right now is stable. Some default in private credit, but the whole market is, I would say, robust, profitable. And if you look at Warren Buffett, right, he recently published, he's making historical level earnings from his holdings. And then if you look at the digital finance, there's a major growth going on in stablecoin. Yesterday, Circle announced their earnings. You can see that their volume went up 100%. So digital currency is very, very strong now, both in RWA and AI in digital finance. So major growth in digital finance. And the third part is private market. Private market, I would say there's a lot of opportunities. You can think about firms like OpenAI, valuation went to 100 billion. You can think about SpaceX, the company Elon Musk built to send rockets to space, and also a lot of other fintech. So private market right now is very strong. So I would say the 3 pillars of the investment opportunities, traditional finance, stable, digital market, high growth, and private market, a lot of deals happening. And then I would say, as a quick conclusion, the economy in the US right now is robust, and I would say investment driven by AI. And then the new White House administration's policies seems to favor US stocks over international stocks. The peak uncertainty has passed. So much less uncertainties going forward. And however, the very high interest rates still created opportunities for investors. Right now, the US interest rate is among the highest in developed countries, much higher than Europe or Japan. So it's very good for private credit investors because your interest income is high. And then lastly, the US financial institutions seem to be very stable and profitable. They're well capitalized to handle volatility. So I guess, we don't have a lot of time, right, for Q&A. I will stop here, but feel free to find my name, Kevin Chen, on LinkedIn or Twitter or any other social media. Happy to stay in touch. And congratulations again to Professor Rong for the great success for the launch of the BIBS in New York City. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kevin Chen. Professor Kevin Chen is a wizard of numbers and strategy. If you want to find a superhero for economic forecast, he is the one. So let's give him another big round of applause, Professor Kevin Chen. And to appreciate your efforts and contributions, the president of the Boston International Business School would like to give you a certificate of appreciation and gratitude. Thank you, notes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next up,
we want to be diligent. We want to be right. We want to do good by doing good things. We don't want to be good by stealing or by doing bad things to the customer. Everybody has the right to have a dream.
To watch Netflix TV series.
Yes.
you go to movies and watch the Hollywood blockbusters, I will tell you, from today, you will always feel they are boring. Because now, our next speaker, his life is full of stories that can inspire you. Those that's very different. Those that are totally unimaginable by Netflix scriptwriters and Hollywood screenwriters. From dishwasher to Nobel Peace Prize nominee, how could such a story be true? But it is true. Our next speaker, Sir Gary Kong, is a real living example how you can get from rocks and dirt into the eminence and the elite circle of fame and reach, and even Nobel Peace nominee. Let's welcome our next speaker, keynote opening speaker, Sir Gary Kong!
How are you, everyone? My name is Gary Kong. I learned a lot from a few speakers over here. But no matter what kind of business or what kind of financial you want to do today, but cannot do without the peace place. Okay. Yes, my name is Gary Kong. I'm the nominee for Nobel Peace Prize 2025 and founder of the Wasa Water. It's a nice picture. Finally, my picture come out. I'm the founder of Wasa Water and the One Wine and Classic New Year Beer. And I'm happy to talk to you today about the world peace. I born in China and coming to the America as a young boy. I saw many things that makes me think about what is peace really means. To me, world peace is most than just not fighting. It is about understanding and helping each other. I know that peace starts with us, right in our home and communities. It is about singing our shared humility, even we are different nationality, different color, different religion, but we all live in beautiful earth. People should respect each other and love each other. The war only damages us, not solve any problems. As a child, I heard many stories of families that we heard and neighborhood that were split apart because people do not understand each other. This story inspired me to talk to the other, bring people together. I found out that peace requires us to listen and care for one another. It means reach out, learning about other life, and finding things we have in common, and respect each other and love each other. World peace also means importance of education. Learning helps us to break down hate and fear. by supporting education, we give child a chance to grow up in a world where talking and working together is better than the fighting. Today, we face big problems like climate change and unfairness. We need to remember that peace is not just a nice idea. It is something we must have. Every small act of kindness and understanding can make a big difference. So I'm asking of you to think about the word peace means to you. Let all try to be example of the peace in our everyday life. Together, we create a world where every child feels safe and has hope for the future. And 世界和平是要第一尊重，第二了解对方，第三是要互相的帮忙。谢谢大家。
Thank you, Sir Gary Kong, for your knowledge. Sir Gary Kong is a very busy person. Now that his office is always lined up with Hollywood producers, Netflix TV program producers, they're all lining up to ask him to cast in their movies or TV shows. So it's a very rare opportunity for him to come here, and I want to thank him for that. And also, I implore Sir Gary Kong to help to think about the new diplomacy. Before, China and USA, they have a ping-pong ball diplomacy. Now you can start a soap washing detergent diplomacy. Just kidding, sorry.
Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to Sir Gary Kong. And we have to award an appreciation for Sir Gary Kong. The Boston International Business School is pleased to appoint you as a visiting professor and to extend our sincere appreciation for participation in the World Speakers Series. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Gary Kong. Our next speaker is a golden boy. The golden boy of the investment world. Before I met him, when I open my bank statements, I always have to be careful and have to worry. It's like as if I'm defusing a bomb. When I look at my bank statement, I always have much to worry about and to cry about. But after listening to his advice, I feel happy about looking at my bank statements. That's why we have him with us. He's an ex-executive at E.F. Hutton. That is the company that has 100 years of history and the largest investment bank who ever done the most investment deals and with the huge amount of the biggest amount of capitals involved. Let's welcome the golden boy from the investment world, Dr. David Sands.
Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be with you, with these distinguished speakers. I feel very honored. Just as a background, my name is David Sands. I was born in Barcelona. I am Catalan by origin. And I came to the US. I grew up in Basel, Switzerland, where I was very fortunate to have a scholarship with Novartis, a Swiss pharmaceutical company, developing one of the first tyrosine kinase inhibitors for pediatric cancer. Now it's a $2 billion product. And quickly after, I was recruited by Icahn Associates, an activist investor here in New York City, the two core in-clone systems, and we sold it to Lilly for $6.5 billion in 2009. At that point, I went into banking, and as Elvis was mentioning, I've been in banking for the last 15 years. I feel extremely fortunate and very passionate to help investors. And I want to tell you a story today that will be very quick. Can you see the screen? Okay, so I want to give you a quick view of what happened in 2025 and what to expect for 2026, and very high-level recommendations and view of places where you can consider investing. What do we mean with healthcare banking? Healthcare means therapeutics, biologics, aspirins, injectables. It means also medical devices, instruments. It means diagnostics, tests that we use to diagnose and provide some type of decision. And last but not least, medical services, home services, hospital, nurses. So this is the world of healthcare. And we, as the investment bankers, we look for inefficiencies on the system and provide solutions. We look for you as potential investor to enter this market, and we look for opportunities. It's very important to understand this market very, very well. What happened in 2025? And again, we're only basically a few weeks left in 2025. If you want to do something, do it now. So when you look at the graphic, it's very clear. The message is very clear. Okay? Healthcare, in aggregate, performed better than the S&P 500. Okay? The S&P 500 was up about 20%. Biotechnology, healthcare, as an aggregate, was up 27%. So always think about healthcare as a place for innovation, where you can find places to make high return in your money. And I give you a list here of the companies that we follow. But I wanted to point your attention to something that is very interesting. It's very close to my heart. Remember, I grew up in Basel, Switzerland, with Novartis, one of the top pharmaceutical companies. And one thing that I saw 20 years ago was basically what we call now the patent cliff, the loss of revenues by these drugs that are very highly priced on the market, but when the patent goes off, the price drops to nothing, pennies on the dollar. We call this the patent cliff. In one day, the patent expires and the price drops to pennies in the dollar. Okay? When I was younger, we were facing a $70 billion in patent revenue losses. We always look at 5-year revenues. Okay? Now we're looking at $300 billion in losses. Okay? So we're looking at the pharmaceutical industry in the next 5 years, 2030, losing $300 billion in revenue. Think about Ozempic. How many are using Ozempic? Maybe 20 people in this room, okay? Thank you. So Ozempic now has a copay of $600 a month, very expensive. In 2028, boom, it goes out of patent. It will cost pennies on the dollar, okay? This is the beauty of capitalism. Yes, we want capitalism because we want investors like you, me, like everybody invest in innovation. If we don't invest in innovation, we're back to the Stone Age. So we love innovation, and now, more than ever before, we're looking at a very large loss of revenues in pharma. Pharma is pulling their hair, trying to buy small biotechs. This is why investors like us are looking for these diamonds in the rock, these diamonds that pharmaceutical companies want to pay billions of dollars. It's a beautiful time to be in healthcare investment banking. Beautiful. 2008. Who remembers Jamie Dimon? 2008. The world was falling apart. The world was falling apart. And Jamie Dimon, this is the golden boy, I'm not. Jamie Dimon came and said, I'm going to buy banks that are failing, okay? But I want you to remember, he had a vision that was very important. Look at this little boy, okay? And now look at this $5 billion building, okay? JP Morgan building, you all have seen it, $5 billion. The biggest building is a $500 billion market capitalization, not just in America, in the US, in the world. So I love this motto of JP Morgan that says, make dreams possible for everyone, everybody, everywhere, every day. I'm a customer of JP Morgan.
when I call my person, whatever they are, they're so exquisite, they're so delicate, they give you such a good service. It's unbelievable. Today, I went to Mount Sinai for a meeting, and the service was so bad. I was thinking, how is it possible that you don't pay attention to customer service? Jamie Dimon has said, you have to make dreams possible for everyone, everywhere, every day. And when you look at the quality of the service of JP Morgan, it's unbelievable. It's very, very good. So whatever we do for 2026, let's be respectful. We want to focus and we want to have discipline. We don't want to look for these shortcuts like other banks did. We all know what happened in 2008. They were giving away all these mortgages to people that we didn't qualify just for bankers to make small money. This is the sham money. We don't want this type of transaction, okay? We want to be diligent. We want to be right. We want to do good by doing good things. We don't want to be good by stealing or by doing bad things to the customer. Everybody has the right to have a dream, and we owe everybody a return. What do we expect for 2026? These are the clinical trials that if you have interest, these are the changing events. This is what we call the catalyst for 2026. And this is the list of the most important meetings, the pharmaceutical meetings, biotech meetings, cancer research meetings, that if you want to follow, you can attend, you can register virtually. If you like to meet, I will be happy to talk to you. We love for the next 12 months to follow AI-driven technologies, artificial intelligence, clinical trials. We love to look at emerging markets. We love to do deals in China. Please contact me if you have any questions. It was lovely to meet you. I will be around, and I look forward to talking to you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Davison. Let me have a show of hands. Who understands Dr. Davison's speech? Great. Let me have another show of hands who has been listening from the start of this conference. Okay, those that raise their hand once, you will become millionaires. Those that raise their hand twice, you will become billionaires. All right, let's give Dr. Davison a big round of applause. And Dr. Davison, to show appreciation, we are giving you this certificate of appointment to Boston International Business School as a visiting professor.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
And we also want to recognize your efforts and participation in this World Speakers Series tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give Dr. Davison another big round of applause. Next up, we have a female guru in the finance and trade world. You know why? Because ladies are naturally good with numbers. They start by keeping their age a secret, always 16. When you ask them how old they are, 16. So you can imagine how good this female guru is going to be. She was the panel chairperson for the Dubai International Trade and Summit. And rumors has it that when she come back to the US, her calculators begin to sparkle and cha-ching and spew out Dubai money and currency. So that's a rumor. Anyways, let's hear from her side of the story. Let's welcome the fabulous Margaret Avila. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Elvis, very nice to see you again. Boston, thank you so much for holding me today. And everybody that is here with us tonight, I really appreciate you. I know there's lots of events happening, but today was an opportunity for myself to come and introduce myself and the company. But maybe before we go through like the money and the business, which I love, but my mission here tonight is to make sure that every single woman that wants to become whatever they want to become, they can. call it in finance world, in media and entertainment, in fashion industry, anything that is possible. My name is Margaret Gonzalez. I'm the founder and CEO of Capital Variation. I was born and raised in Colombia in the 90s, so it was a very difficult time for women to make or be somebody. We had been persecuted by many different armed groups and guerrillas back in the 90s in Colombia. It was a very, very difficult time to be safe. So my parents both are entrepreneurs. I saw them while I was growing up, having many businesses, being successful, not so successful so many times, but I grew up with the entrepreneurial spirit, and I knew it that if I work hard and if I add value to my communities, and if I create an impact of what I believe and I'm passionate about, the rest will follow. So today I'm here. I've opened Capital Variation, our entity, over 4 months ago in London, in New York City. Originally, the company was founded back in 2019 in London, and I knew that if I wanted to impact many different communities and women around the world, I needed to go global. Hence, I decided to open up a branch in Dubai in 2022. Right when pandemic happened and the Brexit appeared in London. So there was an opportunity. I'm very good at creating opportunities while there is chaos. It's scary, but I always think that in the midst of chaos, there is opportunity. I didn't come from a very prominent background or university, but I always had a dream to work with very important people, brilliant minds, and now some of our customers come from Harvard, MIT, Oxford. I work with many different pension funds, institutional investors, family offices, and we build a very strong network of investors, which I call family. So we work with 5 or 6 different companies per year. Most of them are any different category of investments, any industry. I like to spot the opportunities where I can see I can build a network around that. They can achieve their dreams, and we can raise money within. So I love talking to different types of companies as well as investors. Oh, there is a San Valentine's Day today. I think you have to put this. I don't know. It should be on your email as well. So I've set the presentation. Okay. There is a glitch with the... Okay, I'll continue speaking, but whilst we prepare the presentation. The most important thing, I think, for every single person in this room is to make sure that if I could build a company out of thin air with literally no expertise or no rich parents or not sophisticated universities, although I love to come to Harvard and give one of the speeches. We can do through partnerships, through value creation, to possibilities showing our network and our investors what's possible, and to create an impact, right? So the years of transformation since 2019, again, we've built a very strong network of family offices throughout Europe. I, from day one, worked with 2 or 3 family offices. Now we have a network of more than 20,000 investors within our network. Again, after the pandemic, we decided to branch out in Dubai, and right after being there for 3 years, I established relationships with some sovereign wealth funds, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, very, very strong network of investors. And then quickly we know that we needed to impact communities and we needed to follow the ESG guidance, so impact environmental, social governance goals, which most of you, I'm sure you all know. There's 17 different goals, and we want to participate and make sure that each and every single goal is within our investment horizon, or we can impact in any given scenario. So call it working with women, call it working supporting children, universities, impacting communities, providing many different investments that cover some of the goals. Again, we've worked and impacted more than 300 investors since we established Capital Variation. Again, we're more than 20,000 people network, and whenever we partner with a company that wants to fundraise and they want to complete their run of investments, we're able to introduce very targeted investors towards that company. So things get funded very quickly because we're quite selective on who we talk to, who we work with, and want to make sure that our investors are happy with what we offer to them or what we present to them. Again, we have a global market reach in Dubai, in London, and now very happy to be here in your city. It's such an amazing atmosphere, international, full of energy, vibe. So for me, New York City has been one of the greatest things we've done so far. So if you're looking at raising capital or building a community, we're doing that. We have done capital acquisitions and placements, M&As, debt, equity, deal creation, invoice and cash flow financing. So given that we have such a strong network of investors and families, we pretty much can help fund anything from seed series to pre-IPOs, mergers and acquisitions. We just need to understand what you're looking for and we find it for you. Again, our team, it's pretty much based everywhere around the world. So we have an office here. There we have an office in London where we oversee some of the partnerships in Europe. And we oversee some of the partnerships that are in Dubai through different partnerships and organizations. Again, some of our targets and metrics is making an impact. That's the most important thing for me, to be able to impact communities and the ecosystem and the global economy world. We love to have more access to different sorts of partnerships. So if you're here today and if you're looking to partner with other companies and if you like to be part of a huge international network, which we have, although I look very young, I worked probably tirelessly for the last 7 or 8 years of my career, building a very strong foundation of companies and community. So we have different sources of funding. As I said earlier, we've had partnerships with sovereign wealth funds, venture capitalists, family offices, which are pretty much our bread and butter. Boutique investment banks. We've done some work with governments, such as Colombia. I'm Colombian myself, so we've done some funding for the government back in 2022 for impact and healthcare. And we do trade expert and supply chain for companies who wants to grow in the Middle East or Europe if desired. We have different type of partnerships that we can do. We just need to identify what is the brand message that you want to show, what is the sales channel and marketing that we can support you on so you can complete your funding raise, and then how we can best support you on business development. Again, everything that we do is based on people. If we can help others and if we can impact our communities, our business can flourish here or anywhere around the world. We've worked very much on digitalization and also innovation. So we do recently partnerships with many different entities and universities to be able to showcase our services and digitalize as much as possible. We have a mandate on AI distribution now, so we have a very interesting mandate in the artificial intelligence space, and we like to bring that within our organization. So everything we do is pretty much against the market, not with the market, not against the market. And these are some of the partnerships and alliances that we have. As you can see, some of those are Mubadala in Dubai, the Abu Dhabi Investment Council in Abu Dhabi. We have family offices such as Raptor in Boston, Trade with Finance in Germany. These are just a few of the partnerships that we do. We work closely with Aramco in Saudi Arabia, with their venture capital arms, which are 3 of them for early stage community companies. And yes, again, ESG, environmental social governance, is everything for our company. We try to integrate those metrics as much as possible in everything we do. But again, once again, thank you so much for having me today over here. One impact at a time. I hope that the women that are here, I can inspire you, and if I can add any value to what you're building or what you're doing, please make sure that you come to us, to our gatherings together with Elvis. And so happy to be here, and thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you, Margaret. You see, Margaret's advice is so good. I went from financial bankruptcy, emotional sufficiency, to financial sufficiency and emotional bankruptcy. Okay. Before I met Margaret, I was financially bankrupt but emotionally sufficient. After I met Margaret and implemented advice, I was financially sufficient but emotionally bankrupt. I explain to you why. Because I became too calculated with everything. All the girls left me, so I'm heartbroken, and that's why I become emotional bankrupt but financially sufficient. So let's give Margaret another big round of applause. And to show our appreciation for Margaret, we are going to give her an invitation to appoint her as a visiting professor for the Boston International Business School, as well as a certificate of appreciation for participating in tonight's World Speakers Series. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Thank you. When you have problems, who do you go to? Consultants and strategists. Our next speaker. When the consultants and strategists, they have their own problems, who do they go to? Make a guess. Our next speaker is the consultant of consultants, strategist of the strategists. He's serving on the advisory board of Columbia University, the United Nations, and on Trump's 100 People Advisory Committee. He's none other than Dr. Yudong Zhao. Let's welcome the chairman of International Strategists Alliance, Dr. Yudong Zhao, to the stage.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for organizer. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm great honor to participate in this event. This is the World Economic Recession time. Our conference is not easy. Last 15 years, I always think, what is important knowledge? What knowledge is very useful? I think a lot. I research in Columbia University at the United Nations. I think a lot. This is for strategy philosophy. Strategy philosophy is very useful for everyone, especially for businessmen. Institutional education side is if we learn in books history knowledge, if we learn in the experience of the celebrity knowledge, this is not enough. The education side, imagination is more important than knowledge. The first strategy is this. Strategy will develop the economy scholarship. Great leadership can use strategy philosophy, keep world peace. Company, if we use a strategy, they can make a win-win situation. What is strategy philosophy? For example, the Sun Tzu, the Art of the War, the Machiavelli, the Nixon, victory without war, the Glacier, the Art of the Worldly Wisdom, etc. Professor science, this is the most successful leadership learning knowledge. and think this is true. I learned strategy philosophy more than 30 years. Today, I'm a strategy expert in the United Nations. My background is entrepreneur. This is for use strategy to become a millionaire. This is a very, very good way. Strategy philosophy is action. Strategy philosophy is thinking. The important knowledge should be action and thinking together. I remember last 30 years I talked about lots of philosophy, including the Henry Kissinger, about the China's Sun Tzu Art of War, the teachers, the United Nations, and other philosophers. They are teaching me a lot. We focus 2025 and 2030. Everyone knows this is artificial intelligence time. We must use artificial intelligence to make the strategy. This can together. Strategy and philosophy together can make most glorious. Especially, we should attention the AI development. Last year, I with Avis published book, Use AI to Enhance Cognition. We know cognition is very important for everyone. But first, we know we should have this ability. Ability is what should do, what we can do. The second is responsibility. We are entrepreneurs, know we should do our family and our career and to our country or this world. So this is responsibility. If you have ability and responsibility, you should have opportunity. If no good opportunity, you can't do anything. Warren Buffett said, buy a good stock and forgot it, waiting for growth 3 or 5 years. We think we invest in the AI company and waiting for this growth. The young student learning AI works for AI company. This will be a good salaries. The Sun Tzu said, know your enemy, know yourself, then you will never be defeated. Today, we need a global recession time. We should focus the complex, the political environment. We should focus the Russia and the Ukraine, the war. We should understand strategy philosophy will protect ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, let's use strategy philosophy thinking this big world. This is a fantastic century. Let's use strategy philosophy to make our career and to decide our life. Let's use strategy philosophy to make the democracy and the wealth freedom. Then you will be very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zhao.
My chapter 1 use English. I think lots of Chinese. I can a little bit speak use Chinese part about this philosophy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zhao. And I wish I had learned Dr. Zhao's lessons earlier before I wasted too much money on the dating apps and dating profiles. He teach me something very enlightening. He said, Sun Tzu said, all warfare is deception. Okay, let's give Dr. Yilong Zhao another big round of applause. And to show our appreciation, the Boston International Business School would like to appoint Dr. Yilong Zhao as a visiting professor and also to honor him for tonight's participation in the World Speakers Series. Please give him a big round of applause. Next, we shall wander through the cosmos and to understand the universe better. He's the person who made me realize that one universe is not that exciting enough. There should be two universes or more. He's a nuclear physicist at Thermo Fisher before, and he's the humanitarian as well as the chairman of many NGO organizations with the United Nations. Let's buckle your seatbelts, and we will launch the Space Voyager. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's welcome to the stage Dr. Yong Ying.
Thank you, Albert. I'm going to talk boring physics to you guys. I don't know how the rocket science is going to basically... Albert, can you do the talk for me? I think you're going to get more bored than mine. But anyway, hopefully this is not going to be a boring physics, because I'm going to tell you the new physics, the new mathematics that will take humanity to the next phase of life. So this is my discovery of the twin universe. So those that follow me on social media will see me sign quite often. So you and us are in the other universe watching this presentation as well. Okay, so we all know modern physics. Okay, there's two major principles that govern physics these days. There's the general relativity of Albert Einstein. Everyone knows about E equals mc squared. That is a deterministic science. That basically says that if you have every parameter, you could then define every action that follows. Okay? And now that explains the macro world, the cosmos, how planets move, how rockets are launched into space. But there is another major scientific discovery, which is obviously quantum mechanics, which explains the microscopic world. But the problem is, well, I say the problem because the microscopic world, quantum physics, is based on uncertainty. Therefore, there's a major conflict between the two most important scientific models of our modern physics. One that claims to explain everything, and one that said, no, we cannot define anything. Therefore, there's a major conflict. Therefore, the holy grail of science is to discover what we term as the theory of everything. A single theory that can explain absolutely everything. But modern science at a loggerhead. It's like the yin-yang, right? It's like the... and there's right now no breakthrough that can resolve this until the discovery of the twin universe. Okay? So now, you may have heard of dark energy, dark matter. Okay? That's basically a scientific term of saying, I don't have a clue what it is about. Okay? So dark energy is this unknown thing that governs the acceleration of our universe. So no one has any idea what is generating this acceleration of the universe. So they just call it dark energy. Similarly, dark matter explains the rapid rotation of galaxies. Again, they measured it and they say, well, it's rotating to galaxies at that rate should basically explode outward and fall apart, but it doesn't. So again, modern science cannot explain why galaxies are rotating so fast. So the scientists just said, we'll just call it dark matter. So the twin universe is the only scientific theory, I repeat, the only scientific theory that can qualitatively and more importantly, quantitatively. So you hear about the economics geniuses here, right? They quantify everything, every dollar, everything. That's how they govern, that's how they count your money. And that's the same with science, right? In fact, there's a lot of physicists that work on Wall Street, as you know, right? So because of the numberability and the quantum theory, some would say the stock market works on uncertainty models, right? So the twin universe which I discovered in 1998, is the only model that can explain all this. Not just dark energy, not just dark matter, not just where's all the missing antimatter, and why is this quantum entanglement? It is the only scientific theory that cannot explain all those. And I've published various books on this, so I'm putting my neck out there. So it is truly the answer to everything, okay? Now, I don't have time to go into all the equations, etc. Mike, I know you got your hands up there. I've known Mike a lot of years, so thank you. But it is the only twin universe theory. It's the only one that can explain all these cosmic unknowns, okay? The biggest discovery I'll leave to end. I'll explain what the biggest discovery. So I'll give you some example, okay? So this is a comparison chart. So we have the single universe, which is our modern scientific theory, and we have in comparison the twin universe theory, okay? So the first fundamental rule, everything, including the stock market, including everything, is governed by the laws of thermodynamics. You all know the first law of thermodynamics, right? Energy cannot be created and blah, blah, blah. Entropy is always increasing, okay? Well, guess what? Our modern laws disobey the conservation laws of thermodynamics. Now, when I speak to my fellow physicists, say, you know, why is everything obey the laws of thermodynamics except the universe itself? And their excuse, now, the honest one will tell you, I don't know, right? But what I term the dishonest one will come up with, this is the most theory, right? Oh, everything follows the laws of thermodynamics except for the universe. That's the explanation. To me, that is just absolutely, pardon my English, BS, okay? The twin universe obeys the laws of thermodynamics. Why? Because in the twin universe, you have a positive and you have a negative. When you add positive and negative, guess what? You get to zero. So before the creation of time, there was zero energy, zero everything. With the twin universe, at the moment of creation, when you have an equal and opposite universe, the twin universe, it gets back to zero. So it's the only theory that obeys the laws of thermodynamics. Okay? Then the other thing, I'm not going to go, but it is also a flat universe. Einstein said the biggest mistake when he inputted the negative cosmological pressure, because at that time they hadn't measured the acceleration of the universe. So he said it was a mistake, but it wasn't a mistake. Okay? In the twin universe, it's basically controlled by antimatter and anti-antimatter. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the thing. So cosmic expansion, current science says dark energy. They can't explain it. I've done the calculation, and I repeat, the calculation using the twin universe, and my prediction matches the observational value of the Hubble constant. Okay? It's the only theory that actually calculates and predicts it. Okay? So I'll fit to you. Alright? And similarly, galactic rotation, science cannot explain it, so they just call it dark matter. Okay? And again, mine's the only calculation that actually quantifies what dark matter is. And then black holes, missing antimatter, all this, the twin universe is the only scientific theory that explains everything that modern science cannot. Now, there may be people out there say, well, we have two great Nobel nominated Peace Awards in Mike and obviously Gary, right? So you may ask, well, if you discovered this, shouldn't you win the Nobel Prize in Physics? Well, yeah, should I? And just to give you a concept, when I put forward this twin universe idea 20 years ago, my fellow scientists all laughed at me, right? They literally laughed at me. Some would call me names. But remember this, Einstein could not get a teaching job because they all thought he was stupid. Literally, right? Einstein had to work in a patent office because they thought he was stupid until he was proven right. Then when he was proven right, everyone wanted him to be a professor at the university. And of course he went to Princeton and, you know, so it wasn't that Einstein became from an idiot to a genius. It's just that his science was proven. And then when he was proven, they realized, well, he's a genius, right? So I said, this is the only scientific theory I can explain all these unknowns. Now, my fellow scientists have stopped laughing at me. So if you watch the Discovery Channel, in fact, you will see a lot of scientists talk about multiverses, parallel universes. So they're jumping on this bandwagon. Okay? So I'm just saying, folks. Now, when I said discover the twin universe, I'm actually not the first to discover the twin universe. In fact, as you know, Chinese, right? We have Taoism, the yin-yang, which was formulated 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, right? So the twin universe is the yin-yang. So you could say the Chinese already know the true essence of our cosmic existence, right? So it goes back a lot of time. In fact, I have here a dear friend of mine, Catherine. She's a very famous fashion designer, so she does fashion shows here. She was the first plus-size supermodel to walk on the catwalk of New York City. So you wanted to fashion Catherine. But even though she's famous, she's not the most famous in her family. Her husband is the second most famous writer on Marvel comic book. Her husband actually wrote Captain America and a lot of the major things that yes, exactly, right? The reason why I brought this into it is her husband was writing back in those times about the quasar, about the multiverse, right? So I think fate has brought us together. In fact, Catherine and I, even though it's scientific and her comes from the comic world, there's that reality that brought us together. So we are talking about evolving and obviously doing a film production, major film. My wife's a filmmaker as well over there, super talented, award-winning filmmaker. So I got a pitch for her as well. You know. Top good women, right? Women, right? A family comes from Colombia as well, so you got to talk to her as well. Yeah, you know, and Catalan. So I think someone's there from Catalan as well. But anyway, so I said to you, I said to you, various scientific book. I've gone on various conferences. So I said, in the early days, I was laughed at. These days, I'm no longer laughed at. Okay? So, like I said to you, you know, when, like Einstein, when he's proven correct, he got the recognition, the accolade, okay? Now, we all have ego. I have an ego, okay? But ultimately, those that know me know the divine path that I'm heading. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for our collective organization, okay? The biggest discovery of the twin universe, all right, the biggest discovery is the existence of a single omnipotent consciousness. That is the scientific terminology of God. I was not a God believer. Like I said, I'm a nuclear physicist. Okay, I'm a qualified nuclear physicist. But this path of the twin universe ultimately led me to the greatest discovery of all time. Not about dark energy, not about dark matter, but my path to God. And in fact, my God book is published at the God book. Go on Amazon, type my name, type God, and you see it there. It contains the new mathematics that logically defines God. And it contains the new science that experimentally proves God. And that is my ultimate biggest discovery and legacy that I leave upon humanity. And I'm grateful to Elvis, my dear friend, and the organizer here for giving me this opportunity to deliver this message to you all. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ying. Now I'm really worried. This conference will collapse into another universe. Dr. Ying, you have our minds and brains blown. Okay, so if someone finds my brain floating out there, please return to me after the conference. And to appreciate your efforts and contribution and your knowledge, the Boston International Business School would like to appoint you as a visiting professor and as well as to recognize your collaboration at tonight's World Speakers Series. Thank you very much, Dr. Leong. Please give Dr. Leong a big round of applause.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you. Honor, true honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Look, it's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Oh, no. It's President Donald Trump. And the citation of President Donald Trump, there's mixed emotions from all over the crowd. It's so tough. Some people are angry, some people are happy, some people want to buy popcorn, some people want to get some hammers. But now, somebody will help us with that situation. It's somebody that almost looks like your neighbor, because you keep seeing her so many times on primetime TV. CNN, Fox News, Newsmax, BBC. She appears so much that you think she's so familiar, she looks almost like your neighbor. Let's welcome to the stage, reporter and commentator for the Prime News Network, Angie Wong.
Thank you so much, Elvis, and thank you, everyone. I've enjoyed your speeches tonight. I've learned so much. I had no idea about other universes and things like that, so thank you. So my main job is to explain Donald Trump to the rest of the world. So many people hate Donald Trump, and I'm trying to remove the emotions of it because he's actually our president, and we want to support our president because we have to live in his universe, at least for the next 3.5 years. I first had learned about Donald Trump when I was overseas in Hong Kong as a foreign correspondent, and every single news network that I was watching, BBC, CNN, overseas, was saying, this man is bad, he's Orange Man bad, he's this, that, and the other. It was only when I moved back to the US and spent time with Donald Trump, his administration, and everyone in his inner circle that I realized, okay, he actually has some ideas, and he actually wants to help grow America. So I've had the pleasure following Donald Trump and everyone around him for the last few years, got to know him, and now I get to talk about him on TV, which I love, because I know a very different man than everyone sees that the news narrative has told you. And my job as a reporter for the last 22 years is just to report, to witness and to report. So I will remove all the emotions, all the hatred, and all the false narratives and say, look, we want to support our president because he's going to deliver for all of us. I'm not a Trump surrogate, I don't get paid by him, but I do think that people think of his presidency as the chaos presidency because no one understands how he operates. This is the art of the deal president. If you get how he operates, you can win, and there's opportunity in chaos. And that's what I try to decipher every single day on BBC, on Newsmax, on Sky News, whoever wants to put me on air, because we can all win. And I remember the night that he won second term, he made a speech at Mar-a-Lago. He said, look, I'm going to be your president for the next 4 years. Make your money now. This is an opportunity we can all have. And I think if you're a capitalist and you want to chase the American dream, you can get it. But you got to remove all the negative stuff that you've been hearing about the news. And he's told everyone, go make your fortunes. Because he's now used tariffs as diplomacy. He's now brought a lot of new trade deals, rebalanced a lot of trade deals for America, like it or not. I go on Indian television all the time, once a week. The Indians hate this stuff because he did retaliatory tariffs because they were buying Russian oil. And I have to explain to Indians, well, if he's our America First president, by definition, someone has to be second. And India, you're second. If you want to play this game, you have to be nice to Donald Trump. And they got it. And I didn't realize President Moody was watching and his team was watching. And the very next day, they sent President Trump a nice note inviting him and all these dignitaries. And one by one, we saw what was going on. You cannot fight this guy. He's a New Yorker. He's from Queens, all right? You don't play around this guy. You have to, be nice to him, and he will be your best friend, and he'll give you whatever he wants. And that's what I say around the world, whether it's on BBC or on Times Now India or India Today or on Chinese television. I would say the way to do this is you got to be nice. And Keir Starmer of England he did very, very well. He rolled out the red carpets for when Trump did a state visit, and guess what? They got very favorable trade deals. So, one by one, leaders are understanding this is how it's done, and I love it. And I think it's just respect anyway. I think ultimately you're talking to a Queens boy that was not allowed back into the clubs in New York. Back in the day, he was excluded. So if you know that's where he comes from, and you invite him in, he's going to open up the world for you. Look what he did with the Middle East Peace Summit. He got it done. He made a few phone calls. I know Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State, has not slept in 10 months, but they got it done, where others have tried. At least he got a framework of the deal done. And we should be supportive of that. We should actually celebrate all these things, and we should congratulate our president for bringing us this far, because he's made the impossible possible. And I think if nothing else, that is my lasting message, because you would never think any of this could happen in our lifetime. He's done it in 10 months. He's completely rejigged the geopolitical map. So how do we win? All of us. I mean, I think a lot of us are in business and technology, and you know, we want to be able to last at least the next 3.5 years, right? I mean, I could give you I can give you stock options and things like that, and I can talk about that stuff, but the reality is that he's really rejigging the geopolitical map so that American companies can do very, very well here. And I get a call almost every single day from foreign companies wanting to open up in the US just so that they can benefit from all the things that Trump is doing. And it's not just going to be Trump. Trump's only going to be around for another 3.5 years. It's going to be what happens after Trump. And he is setting the groundwork now, and I can tell everyone here that for the next 10 to 12 years, what he's building now is going to trickle out, and you're going to benefit. Look what he's doing with tariffs. He wants to give everyone here $2,000. And that is because he's turning import duties into revenue shares. He wants to make all of you stockholders in America. What other president's going to do that, right? I love this. I love how he thinks out of the box every single day. You like him, you hate him, I don't mind, but I want $2,000 in my pocket, right? Especially right before Christmas. So I think he's doing things that, yeah, why not 80,000? I don't care, whatever it is. But you know what? We're going to take in, over the next 10 years of this, if the Supreme Court allows it, of this tariff deal, we're going to take in over $2 trillion. He's going to pay down our national debt, and he's going to put money in our pockets. I'm good with that, all right? So, yeah, I think we should thank President Trump for looking out after us. And again, I get the narratives. Look, I'll be the first one to tell you, I've worked for Hillary Clinton and her campaign. I know exactly what they do. I've seen both sides of the story. President Trump, he doesn't care anymore. He's made his money. He's done everything. You know what he said? And this is not to me, but to the news. He said he just wants to go to heaven. He wants to do the right thing before he goes. And he wants to do the peace deals around the world, and he wants to make sure that America is put back on the right footing before he goes. To me, I think that's incredibly generous. So we're very lucky to have him. But how do we win? Well, again, America is going to be back with manufacturing, with gas, tech stocks. U.S. auto is going to boom. If you're in defense, security, intelligence, you want to be in those sectors right now, because that is where he's going to be deregulating a lot of things. Energy, obviously, he's going to be big on that, and we can go into, I'm sure Michael Daly there can tell you a lot more than that than I could. But you know, if you're a U.S.-based semiconductor or microprocessing, we need that right now. The other thing that he's doing is he wants to, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do this, but he really wants to bring rare earth mineral processing back to the U.S. It's a massive feat, but that's the only way we're going to become independent again. So we're going to have to relax some of our EPA laws, and I know those things will come. But I know everyone's here for dinner, and I want to keep everyone from that, but I do want to thank everyone, and I want to thank Elvis for organizing this. Thank you so much for having me speak. And I hope to speak and deliver more good news to you throughout the Trump administration. And thank you again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Angie Wong. And now let me play a little game with Angie Wong. I'm going to shuffle you a deck of cards. Angie, I'm shuffling the cards and put the card.
Okay.
What is it?
King of Hearts.
No.
Oh.
Pick the trump card and give it to the
Oh,
audience.
yeah, the trump card?
Yeah, okay, again.
You know, there is a trump card.
All right, take.
All right.
Okay.
It's the gold standard trump card.
Let's give Angie Wong a big round of applause. And to appreciate her efforts and knowledge, she's invited to be the visiting professor for Boston International Business School, as well as a certificate. She's receiving a certificate of participation at the World Speaker Series.
Thank you.
Let's give Angie Wong another big round of applause.
The most famous about this
Our next speaker will talk about conscious entrepreneurship. He's like a Buddha, except in the venture capitalist world, except he's not holding a lotus flower. He's holding a balance sheet and a term sheet. He's been ex-executive for Honda, Solomon Brothers, and AMD. Let's see what you have to say. Let's welcome Mr. David Chen to the stage.
All right, I'm loading up my PowerPoint here. Thank you everyone for having patience to stay this long. I know we're waiting for food, and I'm truly impressed by all the topics I've heard tonight, from the economy to physics to Donald Trump. Truly impressed. But I think the most important topic that I want to talk about tonight is about you, why we're here, and what makes us do what we do every day, and the trajectory of our life, because that's the most important. More important than physics, more important than Donald Trump, in my opinion. And it's about how to achieve that through the lens of entrepreneurship and launching companies to make a difference in your life and in the world. And I've been an angel investor for about 20 years. I've seen thousands and thousands of business plans and thousands of entrepreneurs. And most of these companies don't make it because it's highly risky, and the path of entrepreneurship from the idea to the IPO or the exit is highly, highly precarious. And over the years, I've come up with a formula, at least that I think works, in my opinion, that will help you become a more successful entrepreneur if that's what you want to do. And let me ask, who in the room is an entrepreneur? Who has their own company or academic? Yes. Okay. All right. I think there are more people because if you work as an entrepreneur, if you work as an investor, if you have a corporate job, whatever it is, if you work in the arts, it's all about creativity. It's all about discovering yourself. And you can apply that. And it's only when you discover that and discover that purpose that makes you different and unique, where you will find that ultimate sense of joy. And through that joy, hopefully you find satisfaction in your life. So tonight, we're going to talk about, in the short time that I have, about my definition of conscious entrepreneurship, a little quick primer on angel investing, the importance of community, and a couple of recommendations that I would have. So, really it is for people to be empowered to discover your purpose, awareness, and integrity. And by that I mean authenticity, discovering your authenticity in such a way that brings value to people, planet, and the collective consciousness, because we're all connected, right? This gentleman who talked about physics and God, right? I was never a religious person, I'm still not, but I believe in the fact that there's a higher power out there that connects us all through this notion of consciousness, right? And the idea is to elevate your potential for good, doing good, and obviously economic value. And it applies to both founders and investors. And I want to shift gears a bit because a lot of people ask me, as an angel investor, what does it take to become a successful person to raise money for me? And the intention when you're looking to raise money, when you don't have it, is to seek somebody else's money so you can fund your business, get runway, get a balance sheet, and be able to take your company to the next level. Show milestones and raise more money. Raise more money, raise more money until you go IPO. Then you raise more money from the public markets, right? That's how that works. And the framework really is about, people ask me, how do you raise money? And here's the traditional way. It's like talk about market, technology, customers, your advantage, and team, right? Kind of very business-like. But what I believe now is the real key to success in pitching investors like me, who are purpose-driven, is really about articulating your authenticity, understanding your hero's journey, understand where you came from, where you are, where you want to go, what is your trajectory. Importantly, what is your purpose and passion? Passion, they're not the same, right? We all have passions, but the question is it really a purpose? Can you really take that as a piece in your life that leads you to make something truly tremendous that impacts the world, impacts your own life? And what is your mission, right? So if you can be clear about that, then I think that's half the battle for pitching to investors such as me, because I'm mission-driven. So we established a framework, and the framework is based on, if you look at the bottom, there's community. So what is community? Tonight we're in a group of, whatever, 50, 60 people. This is community. Gloria has formed community through BIBS, right? And it's about establishing education curriculum, doing things that allow people to learn about things that are new to them or want to discover something different. It's also about living sustainably. We're looking to, in my projects, at least to launch sustainable villages based on nature, based on what's called biomimicry, the architecture of nature, and new technology, which is Web3, AI, cryptos, etc. But the ultimate goal on top there is ultimately to raise consciousness, to kind of understand yourself by the raising of consciousness, and hopefully the discovery of God, right? Whatever you define God to be. I don't think God is out there. God is within you. We are all versions of God, actually, in my opinion. So last year we launched something called a community called the New York City Conscious Innovation Conscious Entrepreneurs Get Together. We get together every month to talk about how to launch companies based on purpose, based on intention, based on authenticity. And our next event is on November the 24th. If you want to go, I'll have my contact details later. Be sure to email me, and I'll give you a discount. This is the land project. We want to live in nature, live within the realms of discovering ourselves through nature. So we have a land project 2 hours here in upstate New York. And this is also work in progress at this point. So this framework is based on entrepreneurship, based on creativity, raising consciousness, and technology. The technology part really is, now that Web3 is here, now that cryptos are back, I want to say, it's about taking the physical and linking to the digital. So very soon now, that's not us, that's not mine. That's me. Okay, so we're launching this digital collection of trees. It'll be 1,000 unique NFTs with images and possibly music down the road. The idea is that these trees are based on trees on our land, and if you buy one of these images, it gives you the ticket to come to our upstate New York retreat and to hug trees, to meditate with trees, to raise your consciousness by being in nature, and hopefully through that process, you get to discover yourself. Because trees have consciousness, trees have energy, and hopefully through that meditative process that you discover your version of God, right? And hopefully through that awareness and that discovery purpose that you get to launch something, whether it's a piece of art, whether it's a piece of music, or it's a company that ends up changing the world. So these are going to be on for sale very soon as well. And we launched also this incubator program. It's a venture studio which is launched in Princeton because I live in Princeton. And the idea is that we teach you how to discover yourself through meditation and mindfulness. And I teach this, the business part of this by case method, like I was taught at Harvard. 4 weeks and 15 founders. So, okay, let's get the practical part here. Who's raising money? Who wants to raise money? Who wants free money? Michael Daly. Money comes at a cost, it's not free, unless it's a donation. Fundraising suggestions, okay. Of course, the practical stuff, team market, advantage, technology, value proposition. But as I said earlier, understand yourself, understand your mission, understand your purpose, and discover what your authenticity is. That's my suggestion. So meditate more. I'll treat you. Okay, here's a quick snapshot of my reading list. Over the years, I've been meditating for 6 years, and this is just some, but there are more books that have it. It gives you a flavor. I've been doing transcendental meditation. I've been learning about the Kabbalah, the Chinese I Ching as well. These books are on some of my reading lists. The ones that are highlighted, like Clay Christensen, who knows who Clay was? Clay passed away a couple years ago. He was my professor at Harvard Business School. He was well known for something called the Innovator's Dilemma. And the framework of that, about disruptive technology, disruptive innovation, became very, very well known. The last book that he wrote, because Clay was a Mormon, was called How Will You Measure Your Life? And it doesn't have to do with technology innovation, but it has to do with how will you measure how your life was impactful for yourself at the end of your life. So I highly recommend that. Clay passed away a couple of years ago, but he left a deep impact on many of his students, like me. The other book I can recommend that's highlighted is the Yogananda book. It's called The Autobiography of a Yogi. And they gave out that book during the funeral of Steve Jobs. So we all know who Steve Jobs was, and many of us use his products today. But many of us may not know that Steve Jobs was deeply spiritual by the teachings of Yogananda. And through that, he was able to download stuff from God, or source. Things like the iPhone, things that kind of gave him these visionary ideas where people thought it was absolutely crazy to launch a phone without buttons. Think back to Motorola and Nokia, where we had physical buttons on phones. People thought it was absolutely crazy. But look at where we are today. So that's visionary. So this is my contact, my LinkedIn. That is the application to the incubator, the accelerator program that we run through Princeton Venture Studio. Again, our next event is on November 24th here in New York City. That's my phone number and email. And happy to talk to anybody about this stuff, because that's my focus now, is authentic entrepreneurship by raising consciousness. Questions? Okay, I'll be around later. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, David Chen. I'm learning from David Chen, and the lessons I get from combining consciousness and passion is that the next time I go to roller coaster, I will do yoga meditation. How does it sound? Okay, good. To appreciate, let's give David Chen a big round of applause, and to appreciate his efforts in participating and contributing to tonight's World Speaker Series. That is the certificate of the award recognition. Thank you, David Chen. Thank you. Thank you. Our speaker, our next speaker, he speaks motivational speeches like Anthony Robbins. And he gives moral teachings like the Dalai Lama. He's a mixture of the Dalai Lama and Anthony Robbins. He's also the CEO for Amaranko, Singapore. He is the Nobel Peace Prize nominee for 2024. Let's welcome to the stage CEO Michael Daly.
5 times nominated. So I'll start now and end tomorrow morning at 5. Ready for that? So all my friends know that I'm very, very private. And in public, I really don't speak long, but in private I do. But we're going to talk about a couple of things. The first thing, the doctor about we talked long overnight. I send you emails about your black energy and stuff. How 2-3 years? Some of the theories you have are very, very good. All right, and I hope they do come alight. Remember when Einstein was asked, how does it feel to be the most brilliant person in the world by the New York Times? Einstein turned around and said, I don't know, when you go speak to Nikola Tesla. Right? And then we're finding out it's all about theories of frequency. In the back, we have Nico here. Here he is. And he's designed a new technology for cosmetry, and I had the facelift in 5 minutes, and it took away all the lines. So frequency is where it is. Now we're going to get on topic right now. So I left my flash drive, but you know, it's the big deal. So let me break things down into 3 areas: past, present, and future. Now let's talk about from day 0, when this gentleman was talking about the theories of the universe formed, until 1950. Right? In 1950, that period of time, we were just learning how to tame the environment. Right? After that point, AI came in at that point. That's when it first started. Computer technology. One of my grandmothers was the original investor in IBM. It was a missile company. Right? And that really started the phase where we started to pollute. So the second phase I'm going to talk about is from 1950 to about, let's say, 2023. All right? In this period of time, we destroyed everything in the world, and we're on our way destroying it. All right? After that period is the most important period we're in. It is going to be the glorious period of America, if we can get to it. Because that period of time we're talking about, between there and about 2035, China's population drops to about 400 million people. All right? And they need that to happen because they're moving with AI and robotics, and they can produce products faster, cheaper, with no pollution. And they have a great advantage right now because they have cheap labor. But we don't have that. But we do have one thing. If we switch, and Trump's trying to do it, trying to switch over, if we can harness AI and robotics and all the other digital stuff out there, we stand a chance to be the cleanest manufacturer in the world. Now, why am I talking about that? I have 48 IPOs. I bought SoftBank in '99. That was a hard one. All right, I didn't like it at all because I knew he was going to do a turnaround on us. And he sat in my office for months looking at what I was doing. One deal I did, I was hired on Tuesday, right after the 9/11, and on Thursday I found out that my payroll's $500,000 to $700,000 for that week. And I looked at the bank account. The CEO of that company lied to me. He had me to do a turnaround. He had $52 in the bank. He had 52. I went to my accounts receivable and I found Intel owed us $5 million. I went out to Goodman of Texas and I got that $5 million. Wait till you get the story. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm going to talk about Sir Gary, my good buddy over there, is never give in, never give up. So I'm sitting there and I have, this is a 45th and 5th, the highest rent district. We have satellites on the roof. We broadcast all around the world. I'm going IPO with that company. I factored them, and that evening, Mookie called me, the COO of Intel, and he says, who the hell are you? I said, I'm the guy that factored you. Give me my money. He says, I'm taking you to court. I said, please do. So I turned around and I called our chairman that works at Winston & Strong, one of the big law firms. I said, I want you to sue them. The next morning he came back and he gave me my $5 million, and he gave me an option to buy the technical operations center, which was $150 million. The companies I work for, we come in, secret, no one knows what I'm doing. In 4 weeks, I become COO and CEO. Some of the companies, 8,900% sales growth, 5 months. Not bad, right? All right, why am I saying that? There's 2 laws in business. And you send your kids to school, right, so Gary, you spend a lot of money. And they come home with the 2 laws that they spend 4 years with. As an entrepreneur, you live it, and I'm going to tell you what it is. It's simple. More is better than less. Sooner is better than later. If you have those two things, then the second thing steps into play. You have something of value. Your customer has money, but they understand the value and they're willing to exchange it. If you have those two principles running, you have an IPO that can grow 40, 50 times X, all right? So I've done that several times, quietly. This is the first time I'm talking. The reason is, some of the people know me in here. I lost my Chinese wife in a wrongful death. And she was brilliant. She had customers reading her texts all over the world. Where I publish is not in public, in private. And there's some mistakes in that. It's okay. I don't mind. What I'm going to tell you, if you live for the next 5 years with AI, you stand a chance to do something that they talked about in the Bible, in the Quran, with my Indian blood, my Jewish blood, my Catholic blood. It's really confusing when you go to get drunk because you can't figure out what to drink. Is it Manischewitz? With the Chinese, it's Maltai, which my wife made. All right. Is it vodka? What is it? Oh, firewater, okay? But the Jesuits said this: if you make a decision, make it when you're drunk and when you're straight. If it matches, it's a pretty good decision. I'll make it short, right? Let me talk about some serious stuff here. Okay. So there's 3 phases, past, present, and now. The positioning that we're going through right now, it's well-deserved. I knew Henry Kissinger. 1977, he did the petrol deal with my business partners and my friends, the Saudi government. I've been blessed by the Saudi, all right? Additionally, with the petrodollar, it made us easy to work every day, and we created a life we cannot imagine. All the other countries don't have the benefit of that petrodollar. China, in its brilliance, made the BRICS, and they are now in the position to compete with us. And what Trump is doing, and I can tell you stories about him when he was my girlfriend years ago, but he's doing the right thing in this area. Sir Gary, I met him years ago. My foundation was giving money. He's the most philanthropic person I have ever met. He gives money, and he doesn't ask anything in return. My foundation, too, I'm a little bit of a secret, which I love. But I witnessed him when I was giving $74,000 to the Confucius site thing in Flushing. I can't think, the lawyer run that, right? And I saw him there sitting next to Yusai Khan, my friend, Dane Khan. He's Sir Gary for a reason. But when my wife passed, my wife asked me to nominate him for the Nobel Prize. And we went about doing that, and we're very happy to do it. And I am very glad we did that. But additionally, I told you it was 8 years ago we started this, and I said, with the research we're doing, where there's good business, there's no war. People eating 3 meals a day, they want kids, they want to have fun, and they don't go to war. We formed 2 foundations in this, other than our own. Global Chinese-U.S. Peace Research Institute, and we're bringing AI, and I'm an expert at it since 1981, bringing AI, virtualization, and technology on maps so people can see war. Because when they read those BS reports from the research foundations, they all want to go to sleep because no one figures out what's happening there. We need to bring a visual piece to the people so they can see what's going on visually, like a movie. All right, so Sir Gary and I joined up and we did that first research piece. The second one we did, because you have to have business. And I'll talk about my teaching entrepreneurship. You'll know some of my students. We realize there's a big change coming, and the U.S. is ill-equipped for this. My colleague over here spoke about, what's his name? The guy that ran Apple. What was his name? Oh yeah, Steve. I work with Gil Emilio, one of his good guys, the CEO of him, and he was also at Sequoia Venture. The only A that Steve got was in what subject, do you know? Calligraphy. But it's a brilliant art, form is function. And that's what he was. He was a brilliant man with that. But what we're doing right now with Sir Gary and this thing, we need to get ahead of the curve so we can yield the profit that's lurking inside us. We don't need more labor. We will have it in the form of AI robotics and all these other things, making products for us day and night. We don't have any export going on. It's really coming, and I was the chairman of Port Elizabeth, a ceremonial one that President Bush and Charlie Rangel put me in charge of. If that place over there closes, we start here in 4 weeks. That's how bad it is. We need to get to work and rebuild, and the foundation we put together to help small and mid-sized businesses with the AI and all this other stuff will bring us back up. When you have profit, you do philanthropic stuff, arts. I invest in it. Years ago, I was the president of Marilyn Monroe Studios. All right, my grandmother started that. All right, so I'm going to end really simple. What you're doing is very important. We need examples, and we want more Nobels from China and women. That's what they're looking for. We're going back to Nobel. I've been going there for I don't know how many years. They still overlook me. I think it's my looks, but not my technology. Anyway, thank you for coming tonight, and this is phenomenal. Thank you. And I teach at Stony Brook. My students have become, private equity. They're becoming presidents of countries. I have 40 IPOs, 7,000 students through there. And I taught them those 2 rules, and with that, you can become a billionaire. All right? And then I have 18 IPOs we're working on right now. So God bless.
Thank you, Michael Daly. Thank you. I've inspired by Michael Daly's message of peace and success. So now I will forget the guy who hold me on my way here. I will also forget the guy who cursed me yesterday without any reason. But I will never forgive my Wi-Fi provider, always hanging by 1 bar. What a wonderful night. And we want to thank Michael Daly for contributing to this wonderful World Speakers series. We are presenting him and appointing him as a visiting professor for the Boston International Business School, as well as a certificate of recognition for participating in tonight's World Speakers series.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, they call me Lo Mei in China. I was the son-in-law of China for 22 years, happily married. She had 400 million followers on the blog. Wow. So, now I have to find a new wife. Happy wife, happy life. Right there. Well, speed dating quick, come on.
What a wonderful night. Climax after climax. Climax after climax. It's a rare gathering of 2 Nobel Peace Prize nominees, one for 2024 and one for 2025, in one place. At this place for you to be up close and personal with. It's a wonderful night, and announcements for next meeting. We'll have another one like this on December 18th. The location is to be announced. You'll be notified. Let's hope now give one big round of applause for all our speakers for making all this happen. And I want to thank someone special for not checking your cell phone texts, for not checking your cell phone emails, where everything is happening. That's you, my dear audience, for actively participating in this intellectual dialogue and making this event very successful. Let's all give you yourself a big round of applause. Lastly, I would like to thank the organizers who make this possible. The Boston International Business School, the American Academy of Real Estate, and the Virgin Hotel. I'm your host, Elvis Newman, futurist, speaker, and author. It's been an honor to have you tonight. I wish you stay inspired, curious, and always laugh under all circumstances. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
For next events, lecture like this, December 18, 6 to 8. December 18, 2025. Okay, detail will be shared. And also, we would like to take opportunity to present letter appreciation to Elvis Newman. Boston International Business School extends its sincere appreciation for your participation and leadership in the World Speaker Forum. Your inspiring talk and professional insights have made a lasting impact on our faculty, students, and the global audience. Next time, we're going to do broadcasting live to the world. We are grateful for your generous sharing your experience and knowledge with the strong support for Boston International Business School vision to cultivate innovation and international-minded business leaders. We look forward for more opportunities to collaborate and academic exchange. Boston International Business School is pleased to appoint Avis Newman, visiting professor of communications and business. Your appointment will be greatly influenced to the more global CEOs, not only in New York and the US, and globally. Thank you.
So now the conference is ended and we start our networking session while we prepare for the dinner. So we start with networking. You can go ahead and network with anyone you like and make some contacts, make some money, and then be ready for the dinner. It was about to start soon too.
Thank you very much.
How are you? I think Leon was the only one working with me.